Yeah, hi folks, welcome to a kind of a vlog, almost video, but this is just one of those ones that no one's going to watch. And so we just had some fires. Sorry if I have to blow my nose and stuff, because I got a fucking cold. Another one. Yet another one. So yeah, had some fires down this way, and this is a bit of a touchy subject, but we're going to go there. It's about community attitudes and response, aftermath of fires. I might just cut to like the worst sort of thing that I observed. So it was a coastal fire, and some tents were lost because there were camp areas down there. And one of the guys who lost his tent, it turned out, was living in that tent. That was his home. He lost his tent, he lost a guitar, and he loved that guitar. And there was this Facebook, it was like an Anglican, I think, group put up a bit of an appeal so he could get a new tent and guitar. And lots of people responded. Someone had a guitar that they could donate and stuff like that. I was going to give him a call. I haven't given any money yet, but unfortunately I got a big fine that same day, so I was kind of a bit fucked by that. So, but yeah, like, it was nice. Yeah, just get the guy a fucking tent, but shouldn't we be getting the guy a home? Like, there's this feel-good community response. Oh my god, people are so amazing coming together. We're replacing his guitar and tent. I mean, it's kind of sick. I think it's kind of sick. It is sick. It's not kind of sick. It's completely sick that that's all the response is. We just had, it's all this, oh my god, the way the community has come together after these fires is just exceptional. What an amazing group of people. Yeah, what an amazing group of people who, for the most part, couldn't give a flying fuck about homelessness. God, the number of times I've pointed out that half these campsites are full of homeless people and no one gives a shit. We've just had 2 elections, about a year apart only. There's a tidal wave of support for the major parties who couldn't give a fuck about homelessness. But hey, the guy got a tent to replace the one he lost. Let's all pat ourselves on the back, shall we? And there's this, like, don't get me wrong, like, the fire crews did an amazing job. Like, this fire, well, here's the other thing. There were 2 homes lost, right? 2 houses lost. And everyone's, like, assuming there were people living in the houses. And there's all this stuff, like, being donated. And again, like, it's nice, but no one's actually identified who owned those places. Half that area is owned as shacks and as investment properties. Shouldn't we I mean, call me crazy, but shouldn't we actually find out if there was even anybody living there? Because there's probably a 50% chance there wasn't. In one or both of those properties. More than a 50% chance of that. What if the people who own the properties are like multi-millionaire investors with insurance? Like, but there's this sort of eagerness to, I hate to say it, but there's I'm just going to spit it out. I know this is a dangerous subject in this video, but there's a bit of virtue signaling going on with this shit. one person, they literally piled up all this stuff on their porch and said, okay, this is what I want to donate to these people. We don't know who the people are. And someone pointed out, where the fuck are they going to put it? Just like, if there was someone there, the house is gone. There's nowhere to put that stuff. The fire crew did a really good job. I thought, just looking at it from a distance, they would have lost more than 2 houses. But even the fire chief who was giving an interview was a bit embarrassed about all of the just deluges of offers of support and stuff. It's like there's a competition to make generous offers and heap endless praise, and like it's just like, I don't know. It was over the top, I suppose. So he sort of, thanked everybody, but said, we've kind of just got a fire to finish putting out. But I keep going back to that guy who had the fucking tent. And all these businesses that, giving free pizzas to the fire crews, and all these people who are pouring their hearts out on Facebook, like, where do they stand on homelessness for real? Like, when the rubber hits the road and it gets down to a political matter, which is what it is, where do they stand? Because most businesses support, like, right-wing political parties, most business people. Even in my line of business, like, everyone you meet is like a fucking right-winger. Everyone. It's weird. And if the it's the same community, like, the same community that's bleeding its heart out all over the fucking internet when something like this happens. It could be a flood, there's always something going on. This is the same community that just accepts homelessness. It's gotten worse and worse and worse over the years. Nobody gives it. You go to that same Facebook group, I know because I've done this, and you make a critical political comment against the ruling party, that shit gets taken down in minutes. There's like instantly people in the comments flagging it to the administrators. Even if it's like relevant to this area, like a political comment relevant to this area, which the Facebook group is about, right? If it's critical of the right-wing party, it gets taken down. And this is the same community that makes a big public show of sympathy and support. So I'm sorry, folks. There's a big virtue signal aspect to this crap. There just is. Oh, God, I feel bad because I don't want to. There's a few more little anecdotes, but I'd be almost identifying the people if I were to share them. But just some really silly stuff. Yeah. I don't know, folks. I don't hold a lot of hope for humanity. There's people living out of their cars, people in tents. It's been like that for years. There's hundreds a week to rent around here. You see people put messages up and need a place to rent. I've only got $3.50 a week, and then people you forget about it. And you just think, just look at this. Can't really see, but like in the background, see all those hills? Thousands and thousands and thousands of acres of empty land. Now, would the community support confiscating a little bit of that land from the people who own it and giving it to homeless people? Oh, hell no. That would be communism. Hell no. A few people in the community would, but not many. Not many. I've raised this topic before. Bring back land grants. No support for that idea. There are places around here you can stand on the roof of your car and look in all directions and not see a single building, a single fence, a single power pole. And it's all inhabitable land. Bushfire's the only risk, really. And that's considered a tolerable risk. And with the right precautions, properties can be made relatively safe. Just depends what kind of environment you want to have around your particular house. So yeah, folks, that's a little social commentary. I feel like there's a contradiction there between people's public attitudes and their private attitudes. And I don't know, should people be able to get away with the virtue signal when, why do people virtue signal? They virtue signal for themselves, for their own reputations. They're less concerned with what they're talking about and more concerned with how people perceive them. It's like they need to be seen to be praising the right people at the right time or helping the right people at the right time. You know what I mean? There are all these quotes, but it's what you do when no one's watching that matters, right? And there's no one watching you when you vote in that little booth at the town hall on election day. It's all very private. Anyway, folks, getting low on battery. Thanks for listening.